I'd like to now call on stage a man of golden words, Mr. Rohit Ohri, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, FCB Ulka. Mr. Ohri, please converse with us and enlighten us with your thoughts and ideas.
I work in an advertising agency, right? And like Ashish talked about earlier, our revenues come from how we build brands and how we build trust. And I think the important thing that I'd like to talk about today is really that a brand is no longer what we tell consumers it is. It is what consumers tell each other what it is. Today, if you want to see a movie, right, you go onto your Facebook page and you see what your friends have said. It's a new movie, and you want to know whether it's worthwhile investing time and effort going for that movie. And if a few of your friends have said, your friends, right, they've said, oh, it's shit, chances are you won't go and see that movie. You say, okay, there's no point. But this is the, how fast information travels and how brands actually look at, building their whole trust, credibility is really changed. But the interesting thing is, for all of us who are in the advertising business, if 25% of the young consumers today trust advertising, what does it mean for us going forward? And when I spoke of this at Advertising Forum some time back, they said, are you saying this is the end of the advertising industry? And do we not have any jobs anymore? That's not true, really. It's about recognizing change and changing accordingly. And that is the fundamental, most important thing. It's something that if Kodak had done years ago, recognizing that, digitization is really the way to go, it wouldn't have been a brand of yesterday, right? So that's really the most important thing, is recognizing what the change is and what advertising and what marketers need to do to build brands and build trust. There's always a question of trust in insurance, because there is such a lot of fine print that one has to read, and very often we don't read it, and you get a shock when you go to claim. So what is your perspective on, in this new world, how are you looking at trust and how are you looking at building that trust?
So I remember when quite a few years back, I was trying to reach out to a telecom CEO for an issue which I had. And whatever I tried, whatever mails or phone, I could not get past his secretary. And then I was thinking that as an MD and CEO of my company, if my consumers, and for me, my consumers are there when they are in difficulty. But insurance brand comes into activation when things are really bad. You are down and out, destroyed, And that time a consumer wants to reach and is stuck, and they can't reach, it will be very, very sad.
Is it a challenge for the traditional brands, brands which are born pre the digital era? How they adopting, and do you think it's not important?
The digital medium is something that even traditional marketeers like us have to embrace to be relevant to our consumers.
If brands actually lose, trust in the marketplace, how do they actually build that back? What's your perspective on that?
In our industry, 20% of the US, in terms of the clinical specialists, drive from this country. Trust is broken. Then, there are a lot of questions which need to be addressed. It's very difficult to kind of, rebuild yourself.
Do you think that in the context of trust, consumers trust Indian brands more than they trust international brands?
Today, Indian consumer is keeping Indian products and foreign products at the same pedestal and giving them an option. And if Indian products are able to demonstrate that they have the same set of qualities or better set of qualities, then Indian consumer is actually preferring Indian brand.
Today, packaging and consumers are actually, if you go to modern trade, and with the growth of modern trade, a lot of consumers, the housewives, are actually picking up the pack and reading what is written behind it, right? So the whole thing of the I trust not what you say in advertising, but finally I will read what you have on your packaging, because that is mandated. And how are you seeing that evolve as almost like a communication medium, to consumers?
I'm happy to say that in our the core brand vision that we had, the brand construct which we did, we framed something called as a 5C, counterfeit, compliance, child resistance packaging, and communication. So coming back to the compliance part, that's the thing that is written in the packaging, that becomes extremely and exceedingly important. We, as a company, we have come out with a digital solution where a lot of those communication within the packaging is possible to read with your smartphone. So we have a solution. So these are some very interesting advent of communication vis-a-vis packaging that is evolving, and that is only going to grow and reach out to consumer.
Thank you so much. Enjoyed the discussion. Thank you.
Mr. Sudhir Mungantiwar, Honorable Minister of Finance and Planning, Forest, Maharashtra. I request you to please come on stage for a moment, sir. I also request Mr. Taha Coburn to please come on stage. Today we are honoring special achievers and extraordinary leaders who have created benchmarks of excellence with their styles of leadership. Our first award is a Lifetime Achievement Award for an extraordinary leader. He has pioneered a whole new industry and built one of the country's best-known brands, Hindware.
First of all, let me thank the jury, eminent jury, for selecting me for this honor. To the organizers and to you, sir, through your hands I received this Lifetime Achievement Award. My brand is 56 years old now and hope I'll cross 100. I may not be there on the screen at that time, but there will be someone.
Our next special award is to honor a leader who has already been named amongst top 50 women business leaders in India several times by various publications like Business Today and Fortune India. White Page International is proud to honor Ms. Ashu Suyash, current Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of CRISIL, a global analytical company owned by S&P Global Inc.
It's an honor to receive this award. Thank you very much, jury. Thank you very much, Minister. I feel leaders like me have the privilege of receiving the award, not because of ourselves, but the companies that we represent, the team that we lead. And today I stand here on behalf of my company and team.
Next, I'd like to call on stage a woman par excellence. She has been the director at Parle Agro since the age of 22. She has diversified confectionery, pure fruit juices, baked snacks, and doubled global presence by stepping up exports in over 20 different countries. White Page International is proud to honor Ms. Shauna as the most influential women entrepreneur of the year. I request Mr. V. Jambunathan, Vice President, Cost Leadership and Risk Management, Parle Agro, to please come on stage and receive the award. We'd now like to call on stage Mr. S.K. Sayal to honor him with a Lifetime Achievement Award for his contribution to the real estate industry.
Really a great honor for me. Thank you, White Page International. And thank you, jury, for selecting me for this honor.